Hi guys, so today I have swatches from Pop Nail Polish. I have 6 pastel polishes to show you today. These are in collaboration with Glitter Elixirs Cosmetics, as well as Looky Beauty and Pop Nail Polish. All 3 of them are contributing something that was inspired by Clueless, and today I've got 6 polishes from Pop Nail Polish that is her contribution to the collaboration. So these are all pastel cream polishes. I think they will be available individually as well as a set, I'm assuming. And these will be available on March 25th, so we can go ahead and get into the swatches. So our first polish is called Cake Boy, and this is a baby blue, almost periwinkle cream polish. So here's our first coat of Cake Boy. This has a really good coverage on the first coat. It is a little tiny bit on the thick side, so if you manipulate it too much, you'll end up scraping polish off. So there's the first coat. Here's our second coat of Cake Boy. And this one covers completely in 2 coats for me. This does have a really easy to work with formula. It's just you can't work too much with it, and you have to work a little bit quick or it will start to thicken up on you. So there's 2 coats. Our next polish is called Hymeneally Challenged, and this is a baby pink cream polish. Here's our first coat of Hymeneally Challenged. This one, just like Cake Boy, covers very well on the first coat. It's not completely opaque and it is a little bit patchy still, but of the collection, these 2 do cover the best on the first coat. Really good formula to work with, just like Cake Boy. So there's 1 coat. Here's our second coat of Hymeneally Challenged. And this one does cover completely on 2 coats for me. Just like Cake Boy, this one will get a little bit thick if you work with it too much, and if you go a little bit too slow, it'll thicken up on you. So there's 2 coats. Our next polish is called Shopping with Dr. Seuss, and this is a creamy coral pink peach polish. So here's our first coat of Shopping with Dr. Seuss. This doesn't have the best coverage, but it does have a nice even coverage. I feel like it's a little bit thinner than the previous 2 polishes have been, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because those 2 polishes were a little bit thick, but this one does have more of a jelly-like formula. So there's our first coat. Here's our second coat of Shopping with Dr. Seuss. This one was almost opaque in 2 coats for me, but I do still see some of my nail line, and it is just a little bit patchy, so I'm going to go ahead and do a 3rd coat. But just like the last 2, if you manipulate this one too much, you will start to drag polish off, so you've got to be a little bit quick working with it. So there's 2 coats. Here's our 3rd coat of Shopping with Dr. Seuss. This one covers completely in 3 coats. So there's 3 coats of Shopping with Dr. Seuss. Our next polish is called Sporadically, and this is a green teal cream polish. Here's our first coat of Sporadically. This one covers pretty well on the first coat as well. It is a little bit patchy and you can still see your nail line, so you are going to need more. But the coverage is pretty even. There's our first coat. Here's our second coat of Sporadically. This one almost covers completely in 2 coats for me. It is still just a little bit patchy, so I am going to go ahead and do a third coat. But most people could probably get away with 2. So there's 2 coats. Here's our third coat of Sporadically. And this covers completely and evenly on 3 coats for me. So there's 3 coats. The next polish is called Ugh As If, and this is a yellow, it's like a dusty yellow cream polish. And here's our first coat of Ugh As If. Again, this covers pretty evenly. You can still easily make out your nail line, but it does have a nice even coverage. Okay, so there's our first coat. Here's our second coat of Ugh As If. Again, this one almost covers completely in 2 coats. I am going to go ahead and do a third coat just to eliminate any questions. I can't decide though if sometimes I get too much on my brush due to the long brush stem, but sometimes I just am not getting enough of this collection on my brush. So there's 2 coats. And here's our third coat of Ugh As If. And this one does cover completely on 3 coats. So there's 3 coats. And our last polish is called Whatever, and this is a lavender cream polish. Here's our first coat of Whatever. I do feel like this one had the thinnest formula of the bunch. I also feel like if you put this one on too thick, it might run. So there's our first coat. Here's our second coat of Whatever. So given how patchy the first coat was, I expected to have to do 3 coats with this polish, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. This one, unlike the other ones, this one doesn't thicken up as you work with it, so it's pretty easy to get 3 coats. So there's 2 coats, and our last coat of Whatever. This one covers completely and evenly on 3 coats. So there's 3 coats of Whatever. And my favorite of these polishes would be a Cake Boy. And It probably had one of the best formulas, one of the best coverages of the 6 polishes. It's not the most original of colors, but it is a really pretty one. Like the video if you liked the video, subscribe if you want to see more like it, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.